Okay. Hi, Raphael. Tell us a bit about where you came from and how you ended up at Marling School studying religious studies.
Okay, well, I initially came from Winstones and I was there from year 5 to 3 GCSEs, and I came to Marling because I sort of wanted more of an academic environment to
was it a big jump coming here? Did we welcome you with open arms, or was it horrible?
Yeah, I felt very welcome. It was somewhat of a culture shock, I'd say, because Winstones is quite small and Marling's a bit larger. But I did really enjoy it, and it has a really wonderful community feel. And yeah.
And what did you hope? What did you hope to get from studying religious studies? What kind of skills? What kind of knowledge? What kind of experience did you hope to get as you studied religious studies here?
Well, I suppose what initially drew me was because I've just always been fascinated by the subjects and the things it addresses. So I'm, yeah, and also I was drawn by the Buddhism module because I've kind of been exposed to Buddhism in various ways throughout my life, so I wanted to explore that more in an academic setting. And I found that the course sort of provided, well, it just instilled a lot of like skills in me that I didn't previously have, such as to kind of critically deconstruct texts without kind of presupposing that they were true because they sounded complicated, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And being able to develop your own opinion on important issues. So that's,
what advice would you give for students considering doing religious studies?
So they're just starting in year 12. What advice would I give them? I'd say ensure that you have a passion for the subject, because that's the main thing that gets you through A-levels. And it's like, yeah, I wasn't particularly, I wouldn't say now that I'm particularly clever, and I certainly wasn't clever when I first came to Marling, but because I was really interested in all my subjects, not just philosophy. But yeah, I came out with reasonable grades, so I think that's the main thing I'd say. Just find what excites you within the subject and use that as a means to really, yeah.
So at Marling here we run a philosophy society. Are there any memorable the philosophy society meetings over the years?
I remember there was one specifically where I was sort of the moderator within it, and we were looking at whether religion is socially constructed. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And on one side there's a Marxist, on the other there was I think you were
I
mainly
was playing the devil's advocate. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah,
oh, perhaps
quite close to home there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fascinating, and that sort of it really, because the Marxist was of course arguing that religion is an opium for the people, and you were more arguing that that it's a force for all, can be a force for good, and it kind of really initiated or made me begin to think about that issue, and I think it's a really important issue to address. And yeah, I think that was one of the most fascinating discussions.
Good. So we've lots of extracurricular stuff. We support people doing EPQs. Tell us about your EPQ, how you landed on it, and how we helped you with that.
Well, I discovered that it was an option. I had no idea what it was initially, and I decided to do an EPQ on Buddhist methods of overcoming clinical anger. And I kind of contrasted that with psychological methods, such as psychiatric drugs and CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy. And the person that supervised my EPQ, Mr. Farr, he was really fantastic supervisor, and he supported me along the way and gave me a lot of fantastic.
So you said you got reasonable grades. What grade did you get?
In
this subject, yeah.
So in philosophy, I got an A star.
You got an A star. So what are you planning to do now? What are you hoping to do?
So Currently I'm doing an art foundation course at Stroud College, but I am in the process of applying to Cambridge to do theology of religion and philosophy of religion. And yeah, a bit of a stressful process, but it's worth it.
So lastly, again, what would you recommend about why would you recommend it to somebody considering doing philosophy and ethics at Marling School?
Why do I recommend it? Well, the Marling philosophy department is fantastic, and it's got fantastic tuition. I'd also say that just any opportunity to study philosophy, grab it without a moment's hesitation, because it's such a fascinating area and it addresses such fascinating and vital issues that I think everybody should be familiar with. And you kind of challenge a lot of your fundamental beliefs and also find a way of justifying them or ultimately overturning them. So that's what I do.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time.
No worries at all.
I wish you well in your Cambridge application. Bye-bye. Fabulous. There we go. That's it.